All right, Steve, you're on. Go ahead.
Hi, Lorenz. This is Steve Jewin from MMA Mania. Thank you for the time today. How are you doing right now?
Good. Yourself?
I'm excellent, and I'm excited about this fight you've got coming up with Andre Koreshkov, a fight we were supposed to see in March that got derailed because of an injury. So why don't you tell us a little bit about what happened to you back then?
Okay. Well, I hurt my back in training, and usually, I have my goals set out. When I'm dieting and and getting prepared to make weight. So anyway, with my back injury, I kind of just had days where I couldn't train. You know what I mean? And so it was affecting my dieting. Well, not my dieting, but my progress. I have my goals set on my calendar that I'm supposed to be hitting. So anyway, long story short, I made a call. You know what I mean? And gave Bellator kind of a heads up, like, I'm just letting you guys know, like, my back is pretty messed up, and I was told, just to give it some time, because I gave quite a bit of heads up. So just give it some time. We still got some time. So I did that, and it would act up. I had to take like 2 days off, then come back, and just that. It was a lot of that the whole camp. So, when it boiled down to it, the fight was in Temecula, and it's close to my hometown, so I didn't want to not fight. So I said, the only way that this is even gonna, like, the only way I could fight is if we do a catchweight, because I'm not gonna keep trying to push myself and I'm not able to train like that. So anyway, long story short, they didn't take the fight at, like, I think I requested the fight to be at like 80. Yeah, 80, and they didn't accept it, so the fight didn't happen.
Well, how have you been able to address the back injury since that time? Have you changed anything in training, done any special therapy, had anything done to correct it?
Yeah, I addressed it, last camp. Once when the fight was over, I still, was addressing it and getting it all right. And this camp, knock on wood, but everything's been good. No hiccups, no nothing.
In a world where we've had a lot of negativity in mixed martial arts lately, I'm happy to say I've got something positive going on right now, because Andre Koreshkov was nothing but complimentary to you when I interviewed him yesterday. He said you're a former #1 contender for a reason, and you've beaten many of the best in the sport. So how do you react to that?
Oh, good. I don't have nothing bad to say about him. I just feel like with him, it's more of guys duck him, and I never really dig deep down into his record, you know what I mean? But until we were supposed to fight each other, and now I'm just like, dude, like, nobody, like, who, like, he hasn't fought. He only fought like Askren and Lima, and Benson doesn't count, and he's a 55er, so. To me, I don't count him as a top, welterweight. But, all these guys, I just feel like all these guys duck him. There's so many guys that are in the welterweight division. I'm just like, they all don't fight him, and they don't want to fight him, and it's for a reason. And I'm just not that guy.
Well, neither is he, because he says this fight between the two of you should be the rightful decider of who gets to face the winner of Lima and McDonald in their rematch.
Oh, okay. I don't know. I don't pay attention to none of that stuff. I just fight.
So you're not worried about getting another shot then at the world title?
I mean, my thing is, as long as I'm fighting the top guys, I'm always in the talks of it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, that's how I look at it. It's not so much making, like, stringing together all the, my thing is, as long as I'm always fighting the top guys that are in the top 5 of Bellator, it's like, I'm always going to be in the talks of it. You know what I mean? As long as I keep winning, who else is there? You're going to grab somebody from what? The top 6, the top 8? You know what I mean? Like,
I hear you. And it's like they've already cleared out the division anyway with this whole welterweight Grand Prix, so any other contenders would have to be guys you were facing or you.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
So that's why I'm just like, I never really concern myself with none of that. I'm just like, as long as I fight the guy who I'm supposed to fight and come out with the W, then I'm good.
Now, since you were willing to entertain Koreshkov at 180 pounds if they had agreed to it, is middleweight something you would consider in Bellator?
I don't know. With the right fight, you know what I mean? But the only reason why I was going to entertain that because I knew that, I was just trying to be as fair as I could, and I knew that he wasn't by 180 yet, and I wasn't by 180 yet. When I told Bellator that's what was going to have to happen. You know what I mean? So it was like one of those things where we're probably around the same weight. You know what I mean? And it'll only be a little bit of a cut for us. You know what I mean? It wasn't like week like we're like there. It was more than enough time. Like we weren't both he wasn't walking around at like 83, and I was like set to fight for 80. You know what I mean? He was in his 90s for he had to be in the 90s for sure.
Now, I once was told by Fernando Gonzalez that he thought all non-title fights should be catchweight because the only time you need to prove you can make the weight is when the title's on the line. Do you give any credence to that?
No, not at all. That's like I mean, as far as the opponent, that's the opponent's like best scenario. You know what I mean? Like if because like if we're fighting for the title, I want you not to make weight because I'm going to get a piece of that purse, and like you don't have a chance of getting the title. You know what I mean? But that's it. People say that don't make weight. Like that comes from people that like don't. That's like a don't make weight statement. That's a part of fighting for the title. You know what I mean? You prove that you can fight at that weight. You are a welterweight. You know what I mean? And when it fights for the title, it's 70 on the dot. And it's a cumulative of things. You know what I mean? I can't say that damn word, but it's making weight. It's all that. It's doing good in your fights, being disciplined, making weight, you know what I mean? And that's all that ties into fighting for the title.
Right.
It's like if you haven't touched that weight, how do you know you could touch the weight?
Right.
You know what I mean? You just keep... Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say you're right. You got to prove it in your previous fights before you get to that fight. And you're kind of right when you say it's a thing you'd say for not making weight because he had a lot of catchweight fights.
Yeah. You know what I mean? I don't know. I mean, it's good for the other guy. Like, I don't mind my guy not making weight, because I'm going to get a piece of that purse. But, if I can make it, anybody can make it. And that's the thing I don't understand is, like, I've made weight. And that's why I, hear all these people talking about, like, oh, this weight thing is such an issue and blah, blah, blah. Like, when it boils down to it, I probably walk around. I'm probably one of the biggest welterweights that walk around. You know what I mean? Like, I'm pretty sure that I'm probably one of the biggest welterweights that walk around, and I get down. So if I can get down, shit, anybody can get down.
Well, that actually leads me to another thing that Koreshkov said that was positive about you. He said, in this division, you're one of the biggest and strongest welterweight fighters. So he's clearly acknowledging that you're that guy, too, when he says that you're one of the biggest out there right now.
Oh, thank you. So he's such a gentleman, he is.
Well, that's what I thought too, but then he also said some very speculative things that caught me by surprise, like that Lima's going to beat McDonald, even though Lima lost to McDonald the first time around.
Yeah, I think I would bet my money on Lima.
Well, it seems that's the consensus then right now, because maybe people just think Rory McDonald doesn't have his heart in fighting anymore.
It's not the heart. It's not that, man. It's the nose.
So you think his chin is gone? Then you think he can be touched?
Not the chin, It's the nose, and I think that it's something that it's something that in his mental state and physical state. Like I I think his nose has took too much abuse, and I personally watched that fight so many times, him and Lima, and once when his nose started getting touched, he was a total different fighter. Total different fighter. I just don't know if Lima seen it in the fight. You know what I mean? Or his corner seen it in the fight. But for a fact, he is a different fighter when his nose gets touched.
Well,
I know it's a weird thing, but I mean, I've never suffered a broken nose, but I mean, how bad of a broken nose he's had, and probably re-broke it, you know, in that fight. I just feel like, you know, in this fight, if he goes in knowing that, then it's going to be a whole nother fight. You know what I mean? And Lima, that fight, you know, I feel like he made little mistakes that could have won him the fight. You know what I mean? I don't think like it was just a landslide. You know, he just doing things that, you know, in his head, you know, was right, but it could have been tuned just a little bit, and it could have went the total opposite way.
Well, this is almost hilarious because Koreshkov said the exact same thing. He said Lima just made a few little mistakes, and he's a guy who learns from his mistakes, so he won't make those in the rematch.
Oh, shit. There you go.
Great minds think alike, but maybe that also means great minds will make a great fight here coming up at Bellator 229.
Yeah. No, I just said we'll both be thinking in the case.
Absolutely. Two of the best thinkers. So, what did you think of his fight with Michael Jasper?
I don't know. You know, it to me, you know, Mike Jasper is just he's just on the regional level. You know what I mean? It's not like he's top tier, you know, fighting level. I don't know if it was just one of those because, you know, it kind of looked like he had a hard time with him. You know what I mean? Like, he would get a couple takedowns here and there, but, you know, but I don't know if it's one of those last-minute changes that kind of threw him off or what.
Well,
but
he said it was a foot injury that affected him in the fight.
Oh, okay. But, yeah, I didn't know what it was, but I just know that I was like, it's not what I expected.
According to him, first-round injury changed his strategy for the whole fight, so he had to not kick with that foot after that.
Mm-hmm.
I imagine that also makes takedowns harder, too, because if your foot is hurting like hell, you probably can't drop down and grab somebody by the legs and yank them out because you're just ow, ow, ow every time you try to go down.
Yeah.
Hopefully he comes in injury-free. We know you're feeling healthy. Hopefully he's healthy, too, and that'll make for a great fight.
Oh, yeah. I know it's gonna be a great fight no matter what. You know, it's two good guys in there. You know what I mean? That aren't afraid to bang, and you know, we'll just see how the fight turns out.
And you said that, you know, it's a fight that's close to home, and that's why you didn't want to pull out of it last time. So how satisfying is it that you're the main event here and that so many of your friends and family will be there?
Oh, it means everything. You know, it just means that you know, that this is the fight to make, you know what I mean? And obviously, you know, Bellator thinks it's a super great fight, especially to put in the main event. So, you know, it's just one of those fights that, you know, it is a main event fight. You know, you couldn't put this fight on the undercard.
Hell no. You got to put this in the main event, and that's why it is. Bellator 229 coming up here in Temecula. So, Lorenz, thank you for the time, and if you'd like to mention any sponsors, promote anything, go right ahead. Floor is yours.
Oh, man, just watch Bellator 229. It's going to be a great fight.
Can't wait to see it. Lorenz, thank you again, and have a great fight with Koreshkov.
All right, thank you.